We used to get those. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Fun Show here at Big TV, the Brookline Interactive Group. We're coming to you on our normal position at night with our full cast. This is the November 9th edition of the Fun Show. Sitting behind the Kira keyboard is Michael Salin, our producer and host. With head in hand, sitting next to me is Kira Miner.
Kira Miner.
That's me.
Yes.
Maestro.
Who objects every week when I refer to the Kira keyboard. Actually, just for those of you who don't remember, I used to refer to it as the Kira Memorial keyboard, and that's why she objects to it.
Yes.
Since
I'm not dead.
As a good Jewish girl, she relates that to a bronze memorial plaque, which indicates your passing.
Yes, exactly.
They actually do give memorials to people who are still alive and kicking.
I don't know. I would prefer they wait till I'm dead.
Okay.
You know.
And after all that, I'm Arch O'Reilly, and
yes, you are.
Pat speak the Redskins, your family, part of your family tree.
Part of my family tree.
Yeah.
The Redskins, yes. Or as my sister would have it, a picture of an Irish potato with a line through it in order to neutralize the offense of the title, and that would be even more of my family tree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they sort of had to struggle. That came at a very high price, and that game may, in fact, have created the end of the Patriots' undefeated season opportunity. They've simply lost too many people. Their line is a bunch of people we've never heard of, and their running back is gone.
That's the end of it now. 8th.
Well, I think it's going to be very difficult for them to play. I mean, after all, let's remember the Redskins are a really bad team.
They played good.
No, that was an indication of how struggling the Patriots were.
I mean, there's a line. I'm talking about the offensive line. Their defensive line was good.
It was a weekend for that. There were a whole bunch of upsets, particularly in college football and things. And our Harvard team had a difficult time beating Columbia.
Yes.
And that's a sentence you only get to say like once a decade.
They're playing better, Columbia. They actually have won a couple of games.
They have. They beat Yale.
I know.
For one thing, that'll do it.
They got a new coach.
Anyway, during the last week that we were here, there were a number of elections across the country. There were some interesting outcomes that perhaps people haven't heard of. First of all, Kentucky has now formally gone to the devil.
You mean the Republican Party?
No, I mean a gentleman by the name of Matt Bevin that apparently even a lot of Republicans can't stomach.
I like him. I kind of like him.
You like some strange people, though.
Yeah.
I question your judgment.
He has decided that his first and most important order of business is to amend Kentucky marriage licenses so clerks like Ms. Davis don't have to sign their name to them.
Mrs. Davis.
That's what's most important to him. He
said he wanted to get rid of Medicaid.
He basically ran his campaign on pictures with her. So Kentucky's now down there with Florida and Texas. On the plus side, however, in Colorado, there was a local school board which had been taken over by the Koch brothers candidates, and they, for example, wanted to do away with AP American history because it taught bad things about America, like slavery, that they didn't like. And the people out there decided to recall them, and they actually removed all three of them from their school board.
Okay.
So that was nice. And then the odd one that was very interesting that was badly reported by the media was the defeat of the recreational pot bill in Ohio. But the funny thing is it wasn't really a vote on legalizing pot. It was a vote on this insidious plan to give a lifelong or a eternal monopoly to 10 already chosen campaign contributors to have the monopoly on growing all pot sold in Ohio forever.
That's just ridiculous.
Okay,
they'd already been chosen.
But who's responsible for firing that teacher named Mr. Chen?
I don't know who is responsible. The personnel office?
Somebody had to fire him.
Is it the same person who's responsible for bringing him back?
I can't answer. I read the newspaper. It wasn't clear to me how Brookline.
How often do we talk about reading the local newspaper and saying it's not clear to me?
That happens often.
Very often.
Yeah, I've heard that often.
Kind of unfortunate. I remember many years ago when the Brookline Tab actually...
Wait a minute, Mr. Lupini left the next day, I think, after we read about this. The superintendent, Dr. Lupini.
Well, he'd already resigned.
No, he had to stay to make sure that the first day...
No, but he'd already left.
...come for the last day, that kind of thing.
But he'd already...
Well, I think he
already said he was
had
going.
a say in this, though, I think.
In bringing him back?
No, firing him.
Okay, this is of no importance whatsoever.
Well, Chen was supposed to be using an epithet?
What's important is that he came back. He used the same epithet that Murray Repvin used many years ago, prompting the Boston Globe to write an editorial in favor of the appropriate use of basic Anglo-Saxon. And their editorial is still
our newspaper in Brookline had a big article about different places in Brookline where they could build the Isabel School, the new Isabel School.
Somebody's decided to name a school Isabel?
Isabel for the gardener's wife.
When was that decided, and by what idiot?
I don't know who decided that, but I read it.
No idea. I don't read the news. I come here for my news.
It was in there. Anyways, one of the places that was given as a possible site was Lars Anderson, the park there.
The site.
Yes.
Which I brought up on this program, and you were very critical of that.
I am.
Okay. But it was there in the newspaper. Evidently, a group of people that have some substance in Brookline.
Well, the fact of the matter is you couldn't make a list of over about 6 places.
But nobody ever mentions the golf course. Why the heck can't we build a nice school on a 9-hole golf course or whatever it is?
Because rich people like to play golf.
Well, it's mostly people who work for the city of Brookline, isn't it, who play golf over there?
And not rich people.
You and I don't play golf. You don't play golf.
I don't play golf.
My daughter-in-law
play golf, though, if I had money and time.
She took golf lessons, yeah, but she doesn't play there in Brookline. Okay.
Actually, it's a very, very affordable golf course.
It is very
Isn't
affordable.
it?
If you work in Brookline.
City-owned or controlled or whatever?
It is. And years ago, we used to have arguments in town meeting over it, and the Parks Department always defended it as a money-making operation. And then, when I was on the advisory committee, we discovered that it was creative accounting. It actually lost a lot of money, but they hid the losses in places.
And they kept changing people who were running that cafeteria or that food stand or whatever it was in there.
Well, it's been the same people for quite a while. At this point, and it's quite good, except they don't make anything I like.
Right.
It's all
everything has garlic on it.
It's all fussy food. It's all stuffed leaves of something or other, or whatever it is.
Fussy food.
I know, it's fine.
Cucumber sandwiches.
It's fine.
I like those.
No.
It's fine. They, in fact, catered the Dancing with the Brookline Stars.
They catered it?
And,
I would have gone if I'd known.
Me too. I can't believe we missed
And I
that.
couldn't find anything to eat. I did go last Saturday night to Dancing with the Brookline Stars.
Now here is
This is
the news.
We've talked about it here before, but
Yes.
it's a Rotary operated fundraiser, and this was its 3rd year. 8 community significant people who danced and raised funds for 8 different local charities.
Significant people.
Police persons, a selectman, a town meeting member, a former school principal.
Not our state rep. He didn't dance. I don't think he was dancing.
Our state rep, Frank.
Not Frank.
That's our only state rep.
No, wait a minute. We got another guy. He speaks every time on Veterans Day and all the.
he reads proclamations from the State House.
Too bad you have no idea what his name is.
I can't remember his name, but my wife knows his name.
Fortunately, you don't have to vote for him.
Well, I don't vote for him.
The only state rep you have is Frank Smisek.
So that's the guy, but I don't know his first name.
Frank.
Oh, thank you.
Frank Smisek and his wife Julie Johnson.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, okay.
And he lives all of about 3 blocks from us.
I didn't like his. We had a woman who was a secretary who answers the phone that I didn't like at all. She may still be there.
What'd she do to you?
No, I didn't like the sound of her voice or the way she was talking to me. I was very upset about it.
You didn't know his first name. Do you know his middle name?
No. What's his middle name?
Israel.
Oh, okay.
That's his name.
From the man who knows everything.
Okay.
Well, I know Frank.
I know a lot of Muslims.
Yeah, you talk about various and sundry things. You talk about some teacher being laid off for saying bull.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
I think it's ridiculous.
It was ridiculous, and now he's
And he
back.
wasn't even in school when it happened.
Right.
Yeah, he's a pretty good teacher.
It wasn't during school hours.
The kids did it.
The kids brought him back. Now, here's a bigger one.
The
kids at the University of Missouri have forced the president of the university to resign.
I heard, yeah.
That's amazing.
Over his handling of racial issues.
That's good.
I kept hearing that it's, we'll take care of it. We're working on it. So a lot of lip service.
That didn't do it. Now, unfortunately, it wasn't the ordinary students' protests that did it. What happened is when the protest spread to their highly lucrative NCAA football team, and when the black football players said, we ain't going to play, the president lasted 3 days.
3 days.
3 days. That was it.
Okay.
All it took was for the football players to say, we're not going out there and make you a big payday on your televised football game.
Well,
now, talking about sports.
Wait a minute. This Greek, one of these Greek, what do they call them? Fraternities, yeah. Thanks, okay. Well, it's a senior moment. What do you want? Okay. And they were
quizzing me.
I know.
They reported tonight, we'll have the play, but they reported tonight that this fraternity decided, they advertised, they don't want, white women only.
And that was one of the things in Missouri, yeah.
Yeah, but that was
ridiculous.
That was also there too.
Yeah, that's part of what they were.
That was someplace here too, I think, in our area.
No.
Okay.
There's another fraternity thing in the news, though. There's a fraternity which is suing Rolling Stone magazine for hundreds of millions of dollars for slandering them on a story about a rape that apparently never took place there.
Okay.
So that was
in Guantanamo, maybe. No.
He just pulls these random things from nowhere. I can't even follow.
Michael Salmon is the prince of segues. The prince of segues. Then I want to just mention one of I didn't think I said on the show, the Dancing with the Brookline Stars raised $261,000.
That's amazing.
For 8.
How much was the ticket?
Did they get the checks?
$7,500.
Okay, so it was a charity. Okay, got it.
Did they read up who gave the money? No.
Well, I mean, there was a program that has a number of things.
It didn't matter if you were a Republican or a Democrat, you could give money.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true. We would take Republican money. Okay. We would take green money. We would take
any kind of money.
Green Party.
Yeah.
What about this thing?
What about that thing? Well, you're a little early, but we can give it a shot.
Okay.
Hold on a second. We seem to be we're going to have a quick magic hand from the master puppeteer of Brookline Interactive Group. Apparently, your microphone does not appear to be working, Michael.
Probably good.
Everyone's been relieved the entire show.
Well, it makes the camera people have to work extra hard to accommodate the lip readers in the audience. But in any case, so we seem to be coming up with another microphone. So in the meantime, I will note that Church of Latter-day Saints.
And your team made sure you were on air, too.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints came out with a really very, very popular American ruling today. They put out a new guidance to all their people who run their various churches and stuff, and they have now said that if you are a member of this church or want to be a member of this church, and your parents happen to be gay, you may not be baptized until you're 18. Move out of the house and denounce your parents' lifestyle, and then you can be considered to be baptized. Ain't perverted Christianity great?
Wait a minute.
Oh my goodness.
But did anybody ask Mitt Romney for a comment?
Not that I've heard of. That would be.
Somebody will.
They're too busy covering Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You know, but any good journalist should, in fact, ask Mitt Romney.
But is Mitt a dark horse that nobody knows about that might appear at the convention for the Republicans?
Not unless you've heard about his divorce filing.
No.
Okay.
Filing a
Divorce?
Only if he runs for president.
Oh. And I don't think he wanted to.
His wife has said unequivocally, no way, Jose.
There are a lot of Chinese restaurants that serve Chinese food in China. What do you think of that? I'm asking her.
Well, they probably do. They just don't call it Chinese food. It's just called a restaurant.
It's not sub gum or chow mein.
No.
Some celebrity got in a problem in a restaurant in China in the last couple of weeks, and half the people who covered the thing talked about how he had gone to a Chinese restaurant in China. Yeah. That's like going to an American restaurant in America.
Yeah, exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the No, I'm sorry. You've perverted me. I almost said BATB. For the
BAT, Brookline Access Television?
Yes.
Oh,
But you know what? It says it on the paper, so
That's
you're
right,
off the hook. You're reading it.
The Unrehearsed Thespian Society's presentation for this evening. Once more, after a brief hiatus, we have reached back into the vault.
Wait a minute, the vault doesn't have that last page in it.
So there's some fresh material.
And we are bringing you a revised and updated revival of a classic, which was named Laundering.
Okay.
And now we go.
Action.
Today's my laundry day.
You mean soiled socks and underwear?
How clever, I know where you're going.
It used to mean washing.
But it's different now.
I like my shirts starched.
Isn't that a bit formal?
And uncomfortable.
But everything's just washed.
That the meaning's changed.
What's in a name?
A laundromat does dirty clothes.
And money.
You put dirty money in a washer?
Yeah, and it comes out clean money, right?
After the dryer, it's hot money.
And that is funneled to a charitable group.
Like Citizens for a Moral America.
Or voters for tax reform.
Action against legalized lotteries.
Illegals for competition.
Then lightning strikes.
So the president lost his port deal, I hear.
But the Indian casinos are okay.
You have to ask Jack Abramoff.
Hey, he's just a lobbyist.
Didn't run a laundry.
Why pick on him?
Actually, he uses restaurants as laundries.
Says he's guilty.
Probably owes taxes.
Gambling money from tribal clients.
Needed to be cleaned up first.
Not too ethical to pass it around.
Since when did we get righteous?
Depends who does it.
And who spends it.
For what? We're not sure.
Nothing new there.
Look at Stone and Webster.
Yeah, it's a great old company.
They built quality everywhere.
Even the MIT campus.
Then came the little project in Indonesia.
Well designed and priced.
Proposed kickback fell through.
Yeah, it could have been laundered somehow.
Legal said no.
And the CEO agreed.
And the accountants were all very busy fine-tuning.
And bankruptcy followed.
And the stock collapsed.
The workers lost jobs and pensions.
CEO got millions for severance pay.
Right, and now he's an energy consultant on the Cape.
Irony. The entire complex was built in China.
The best laid plans.
But everybody meant well.
Failures followed.
It was only business.
What went wrong?
Too greedy.
Nah. Apples and oranges.
Why is it always about more?
I don't know, I got mine.
It's never enough.
China is socialist.
Well, I hear the peasants complain to the red bureaucrats.
How to explain the capitalist boom?
About all the urban jobs and all those skyscrapers.
Corruption. Chinese laundering.
Give them some land.
Casinos will follow.
I'll tell you, I bought a book, Making Money Fast.
Use a copying machine.
That's criminal.
No, our foreign debt with China and India is criminal.
Low-paid workers in sweatshops.
We outsourced factories and jobs.
But it's profitable.
We can still assemble computers here.
And sell software.
Well, we can service our appliances.
But schedule repairs in Bombay by telephone.
You mean Mumbai? That's where global leads.
Yeah, climate change.
Interested in a nice iceberg?
I used to know a Sam iceberg.
Sorry, maybe Max Iceberg.
It's a special sale. It's going out of business.
Melting glaciers while they last.
Hurry, they're disappearing.
No laundering needed.
No credit or exchanges allowed.
All sales final.
Except for billionaires and Canadian oil sands.
Well, they aren't getting their pipeline that Obama vetoed.
But all those jobs lost.
Actually, lawyers and lobbyists will still be very busy.
And a certain presidential candidate from Texas will get a lot more donations.
He and his Tea Party pals will something to the something.
They'll use it to beat up on the president.
They'll use it to beat up on the president.
Yeah, good. Hey, you know, that's funny. She read that fine in rehearsal.
And it just all ran together.
And then there's new Speaker Ryan. Those lost jobs for Americans.
Well, Dr. Carson says it's a victory for the Democratic Socialists.
But with oil prices falling, big oil companies won't cry. Our big oil companies won't cry.
I'm crying already.
And now appropriately, blackout.
You did great.
I'm sorry, Michael. Next time I'll write near it.
That was the best part of the show.
Did you take your contacts out before coming on?
It was too much pressure because I had to stop and think about what the word was before I could
that always
speak.
trips us
And that
up.
was it.
Stopping and thinking is always a downfall.
You laundered everything. You did fine. Okay? All right. Now what about Guantanamo?
Now a year ago, you see, that would have upset Kira.
Yeah.
But now she's so comfortable here.
It's more,
Outfit
it's all
that
in
you
fun.
give speeches. What's the name of that outfit?
Boston Toastmasters.
Boston Toastmaster. I
Yeah.
read an obit about a guy that was a Toastmaster
Oh, yeah?
also. I read these obits. They're very good.
Why do old people do that?
What, read obits?
Yeah.
We refer, well, in my side of the agenda, we refer to it as the Irish sports page.
And I still like
I've heard
that.
that
I still
as well.
like that. I learned
That's
that
funny.
years ago. Okay. I think,
The old line is you get up in the morning, you read, you wake up in the morning, you read the obits. If you're not listed, you get up.
that's not bad.
Okay.
I do it so if I miss somebody that I don't know, I do know, but I don't know they're being buried, I'd like to get over there if I can, you know. That's all.
We do that. That's the other thing that we do is, as a part of it, if at all possible, we show up. Every once in a while, there'll be a small turnout. And so every extra body
It counts.
helps the family and things.
Nice.
My nephew's wife, she came to my father's funeral, and we only filled about half of the St. Louis Cathedral Basilica, so it wasn't overwhelming, but, you know, there were 200, 250 people there. She'd been to 2 funerals in her entire life,
Oh.
and both of them had 4 people in total at them.
Wow.
So she was sort of blown away by the thing. But that's why we do it. We do it, and you're right. You increase doing it as you age because more of your contemporaries are listed.
Yes. You know what? And that makes absolute sense. That means I'm going to have to read the obits one day. What age should I start doing that?
Now.
No. I don't want to know
Next
anymore.
week. All right.
I want some date in the future.
Okay. May 27th.
55.
55, okay.
No.
No?
Oh, why?
Is that too late?
55.
You're gonna miss a lot of names of people.
She wanted a number.
Yeah, I just needed a number. I needed something to work with. I'll miss out on
But on the other hand, if you hang out with
15
old farts like us, you're going to have to read them earlier.
Now, what do you think of expanding offshore drilling in Wyoming? Thank you.
There's your answer.
What, somebody's planning ahead for the great earthquake
Cheney.
will make Wyoming seashore property?
What about the president?
Oh, my goodness.
Is it W.H.?
HW.
Up close, all right.
Yes.
He has a new book.
Herbert Walker. George Herbert
Yeah, he has
Walker
a new
Bush.
book, and he takes it.
blasts Cheney.
Yeah, but he also gives it to his son, who had 2 terms as president.
But he blasts Cheney and Rumsfeld.
Oh, well, yeah. One
But
guy
did he
was
say
arrogant,
wonderful
and the
things
other
about
guy
his
was a
son?
bossy guy who knew everything. Cheney, you know.
Yeah.
That was pretty good, though.
No, it was interesting. Obviously, HW, or as they alternately refer to him as 41.
41, yeah.
41 and 43.
Got it.
41.
And
41st president,
very good.
43rd.
Yes, very good.
I got
very
it.
good.
Yay!
Okay.
Anyway, 41 seems to be reaching that point in his life where he just figures he can say whatever he wants to say now. He doesn't have to be politically
What
correct.
age is that? Because I would like to look forward to that period of time as well.
55.
All right, I'm coming out swinging at 55. And not,
Veterans Day is coming.
like,
On November the 11th, and in front of our town hall, all the three or four posts, the American Legion, Veterans of Foreign Wars, DAV, and I think the Jewish War Veterans also will be there. And it's a nice ceremony, and afterwards there's some nibbles over at the clubhouse.
You still march around a bit, right?
A little.
Yeah.
I'm limping if I. Well,
No, but I mean, the ceremony still has a little march around the
Yeah,
block
a little bit. Yeah.
and stuff, or limp
you
around
gotta earn
the
your
block.
nibbles.
Yeah, limp
Because
around.
if you
That's
don't
a
earn your
song they
nibbles,
used
there's
to
no
sing.
point.
Limp around the block.
Yeah,
It was
okay.
early rock and roll. They were hard up for lyrics.
So, how are we doing for?
How are we doing for time? Well,
Probably, it's about that time. We're in that last minute.
I know.
we can
Doug
do
is waving at me.
let's take it on.
What do you think?
I think we have to
Play.
sing. I think we need to sing to Irene. And we can babble afterwards.
Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Good night. I'll see you in our dreams. Good night, everybody. Good night, Irene. From Big TV's Fun Show. We will return next week. Same time, same station. Can you believe it's November 9th already?
And
No.
it's cold out.
Where did the time go?
And it's going to rain tomorrow. They said.
That's
Well,
okay.
last week was like it was spring.
Yeah, it was
I mean,
wonderfly ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was absolutely
It was 75 degrees, something like that.
I was outside sniffing all the plants I have still growing.
Sniffing your
you're
plants.
sniffing your plants.
This
That's awesome.
this is what the neighborhood refers to as Michael's pot garden.
Good.
Your knock on the table like totally threw me off.
Yeah.